Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the
Ooh.
first show of 2025 Drinks and Babes.
What? We're in our third year.
We're in our third year, and this is officially the Snowpocalypse episode. For many
Except
people,
not for either one of us.
well, we'll get to that because actually that might change for us a little bit. But I know many folks in the South or in the Midwest and South are getting pummeled with snow. I guess Rich prayed to the almighty snow gods to leave him alone, and he got a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, it's weird. I have somebody at work went to Chicago over the holidays, and I asked if it was covered in snow, and she said no.
Mhm.
But their taxi driver said for the last couple of years, they've only gotten like flakes and stuff. They haven't had big
Exactly.
snow, even in Chicago.
So let's do the important part first, because I've got a lot of questions about California tonight. Good things. What are you smoking? Because you haven't smoked on one of our shows in a long time.
I know, dude, and it's chilly out, but I'm like, I've had it with the sitting downstairs in the basement. So this is just a what do you call them? A seconds, off, whatever, a cheapie.
Mhm.
This pre-show, and then I'm gonna do the old Oliva G. I'm gonna fire that. Do you ever do this? So like, I got plenty left on this, but I'm anxious to get to it, so I'll just get rid of it early.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that.
So
Actually,
I was thinking that because you buy the short ones now.
Robustos, yeah.
Yeah, but the Toro, which is an inch longer, only costs what, like 30 cents more?
Mm-hmm.
So you could buy the longer ones and always put them out early. But
That's
then if you
true.
wanted a long smoke.
But there's something about holding a Robusto in your hand that makes you feel like Guido from New York City and the gang.
Oh yeah, is that it?
No, I don't know.
What do you smoke an inch? It's the same length.
She's never mind. I'm not even going to go that route because you made a comment about that, but that's why I'm now called Harry Potter and the Elder Wand.
So what am I drinking? You will never guess what I'm drinking.
It better not be bourbon or I'm hanging up.
Let's move on. I'm drinking.
No, go ahead.
Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare. Okay, that's okay. Eagle Rare is okay. Yeah.
Well, you know why? We had our rum shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought some rum, but it's got to go. The rum has to go in the non-Scotch cabinet, and which is the non-Scotch cabinet is completely full. So I need to get rid of some of these.
Less than desirable items.
Non-Scotches, yeah. Oh,
so we want to wish everybody a very, very happy New Year. And also, one of your family members had a major birthday recently, a 20th birthday. So congratulations for that.
Yeah.
It was your daughter. And so that's kind of neat.
Now,
I'm drinking. I am smoking because you're special. So I am smoking
you're going to say Padron.
1964 Padron. But this is the Maduro. So this is a much stronger.
Yeah, I don't think that's just because of me, but that's nice of you to say so.
Well, actually, it was. I mean, it was on the third shelf of the humidor. Now, I could have picked out a Quorum, which are like and Quorum are not a bad $3 stick. They're really not. For $3,
Never heard of it.
Yeah, Quorum. I can't remember who they're made by.
You're actually joining me in the libations.
Yes, I'm actually. This is in homage to our trip to Las Vegas, and this is, I can't remember what I'm calling it, but it's basically Jameson's whiskey, tequila, a pineapple jalapeno mixer, some simple syrup, and the garnishment on the top is mesquite steak seasoning. We discovered this drink in Las Vegas, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, you got a big fan there.
Sean is a fellow Boricua. He's one of these lucky guys. Steve,
what do you call him?
Boricua, which means he's Puerto Rican. He lives in Puerto Rico, so he can drive he can drive like 5 minutes and be at the beach. He eats all the good food all the time.
So if you're Puerto Rican, you're called something that starts with a B?
Yeah, Boricua. Boricua. Boriqua. Or QUA, yeah, QUA. So thank you, Sean. He probably wins the furthest distance away from our studios. And I and I
Satellite
guarantee
connection's
it,
got a
and I
delay.
guarantee you his weather is wonderful. I almost can guarantee you his weather
Mm.
is wonderful. But speaking of Sean, and it's so apropos that Sean showed up, is that Mavericks, which is down near Santa Cruz, which
Yep.
is south of you guys, right?
A little bit, yeah, not too far
There
south.
is a possibility, if they can prove it, that the world's tallest wave
Uh,
surfed there about 2.5 weeks ago, 108 feet. That's crazy.
that could kill you easily.
Oh yeah,
I would think.
Mavericks. From what I understand, and it's funny, I'm from Arizona and I'm into surfing. Go figure. But Mavericks, I guess, is super ice cold water. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
and hard to get out to the spot where the waves come in. They have to tow them out. And there is and the water is not like this, not like where Sean lives, where it's crystal clear. And if, it's so clear that if a shark was going to come up and kiss you, you could see him beforehand. But
That's handy.
Mavericks is very murky, very
Yeah.
cold looking, very deep. And there's a very shallow shelf that I guess is right where those waves break. And one of the most, I can't remember his name, maybe somebody in the crowd has it, but one of the most famous Hawaiian surfers in the world died at Mavericks a few years back.
Oh, he got shoved under and hit the
Mhm.
ground.
Well, and I guess that's when they started. I guess they have inflatable airbags now that it's a vest that they zip up that when they get to a certain level, they can hit it and it shoots them straight up to the surface.
That's
So it's
smart.
becoming,
That's pretty
it's
cool.
becoming safe. But I'm hoping, because right now the current world record is 86 feet, and that was from Nazaré, Portugal, for the big wave contest. So it'd be nice to bring it home to the U.S., especially from Mavericks, because I guess Mavericks has never been that big. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So.
Those big waves are scary. You've seen stories about the monster waves out in the middle of the ocean where like several waves meet together and it just, I mean.
Well, California's been getting hit this season with a lot. I mean, I know I saw a video from Redondo Beach and the wave was breaking over the top of the boardwalk. Those things way up on stilts. And then I guess there's a place it's 4 hours off the coast of San Diego called Cortez Bank. And it's just a big sea mountain out in the middle of the ocean. And they're serving 80, 90 foot waves out there, but you got to get out there first. And if something happens.
Yeah.
So
that's nuts.
So that's pretty cool. That's going on in California right now.
All right.
But
it's the winds that whip up the waves, and they kind of accumulate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, we lost a big chunk of a pier near here that had a whole bathroom shack on it and stuff like that. That's probably in the news too. The bathroom floating around in the ocean,
kind of like Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, where Sean's at on the northwestern side of the island, in Rincon in 1964, there was the World Surfing Championships, and then there's a couple other places called Hobos, Three Sisters, and stuff like that. And that side, when the Atlantic waves come in, it's pretty respectable surfing out there. So props to all those guys that are crazy. I loved going out in the ocean until Jaws. That was it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. I like to snorkel and stuff like that, but I really have to not think. It's better to be able to see in there when you're just swimming without goggles and stuff. You just start thinking about, first of all, the bottom is like 40, 50 feet down there, right? So that's a little bit scary how small you are. But then if you get like seaweed, that's the worst. Like something rubs against your foot or something. And
exactly. Well, and I just picture looking down and having this great white shark going, "Hello, you look like a good snack today." Why he's British, I don't know, but
they probably have them there.
Exactly, I would imagine they probably do.
Yeah.
And barracuda. That's another. For the size, little, tiny, thin, and all teeth.
Well, the jellyfish that can sting you like pretty bad. That's hard to see because they're translucent and all that stuff. Yeah, the ocean's just not a friendly place.
No, it wants to kill you. It basically
wants much like Arizona.
Yes. However, back to our nice segue, back to the snowpocalypse. So we've been averaging between 75 and 85 degrees. And no, I'm not going to pee on myself. Not,
Yeah.
I'm not. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not going to or never have, but those are different stories.
Not not again.
Not again. Yes, that's better. Not again. So we've been in the 75, 80 degree area, and I've been making fun of everybody about this snowpocalypse.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow night going into Wednesday, we're supposed to get either some flurries or possibly a half an inch to an inch of snow accumulated. So, and it's supposed
Now
to be cold.
flurries, no problem, because that's just kind of pretty, right?
Right.
And an inch, as long as it melts,
Right.
that's cool,
But it's
right?
still cold and damp and wet and ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I'm hoping I don't regret being out here. So I drove through the fog. I was like, when I was at work, I was like, okay, I'm going to sit outside. Just like you said, I haven't had a cigar during the show for a month.
Mhm.
So I'm going to sit outside. And then I hit the fog bank, and then you get the light misting of water on the windshield just because and I'm like, okay, I can't. And then I get home, and the fog bank is down the hill there. So I thought, okay, that's it. I'm doing it. And now it's feeling damp.
Moist.
It's moist in the air, and we just hope it just stays that way and doesn't start accumulating on the electronics.
Do you get a lot of fog up in your area, or does it stay mostly down in the valley there?
It's down, yeah. We're almost always above it.
Well, that's going to be kind of cool though,
It's
because I know
very
you took some pictures. Now, but aircraft, because I know that
Yeah.
you live right across from the airport. That's
Yeah.
got to be an interesting for pilots.
It's got, and I've posted pictures that I guess technically the airport's probably, I don't know, a mile is a crow fly. I mean, it looks much closer. I'm sure it's
Right.
farther than it looks, but there are many times we can't see across the street and they're still landing and taking off.
Wow.
So I think,
ILS, instrument
guess.
landing systems. Yep.
I guess,
Automatic stuff. That's pretty cool.
heebie-jeebie.
Now, see, speaking of that, what Sean just said, I was snorkeling in Rincon, and I turn around, and there's one looking straight at me. Again, but if you think about it this way, Sean, think about that he looked at you and he said, hello. Just think he's British.
Is that what they're supposed? Aren't they supposed to look at you and be like, "Oh, you're too big to eat," and they're not going to attack you for no reason? I mean, they say that about like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, when you look at a barracuda, he looks at you with those snaggly teeth, and he's like a guy who grew up on the streets, and he says, I don't care how big you are, I will tear your ass up.
Well, it could be. They don't need to eat the whole thing. They just need a bite. You need a little
Exactly.
snack.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, PB,
wait a minute.
PB's in the house.
No snow here, but going to the snow to ski like Snowmass Village is nice. So, no, because we know he lives in the south, right? Southeast.
Yeah.
Because he's never really told us exactly where he lives. I think that he actually probably works for Congress. So he's secret, or the CIA.
PB, I'm scrolling up. You didn't tell us what you're drinking tonight, PB.
Yeah, that's weird.
Got to throw that in. That's yeah. Are you okay? Maybe it's a New Year's resolution. Oh, so we've talked about New Year's resolutions before. Neither one of us believes in them.
Mm-mm.
Right. So if I asked you, do you have one? You're going to say no.
Mm-mm. Nope,
I got
none.
one this year.
Really?
I got one.
Wow.
And it's something, and I know I won't be successful at it, but so I noticed, I don't know if you do this, but the clothes in the bedroom are terrible. So, at our when you're young, you wear something once, it's dirty, you got to put in the dirty clothes. At our age, you can wear your pants for many days in a row. Your shirt, if you don't put it on till halfway through the day,
we just had this conversation.
right? That's good for a while.
Right.
So in the bedroom, I got the clothes that kind of hang over the end of the bed that have been worn, but they're still fine.
Right.
Then somehow I got into this habit of under my side of the bed go the bottom half of what I change into either on the weekends or when I come home from work. So at any given time, there's usually 2 pairs of like sweatpants down there and 2 or 3 pairs of shorts that when I take them off, they just get kicked under the bed. And then when I need one, I pull it out. Right. Then oftentimes the laundry.
Wait, before you go any further, I can see it right now that Stephen and your mom are going, David, We did not raise you that way.
Oh no. Oh no, that's a whole different story. My room was awful as a kid. Awful.
Okay,
But,
so continue.
But and then if my wife does the laundry and folds them, and she'll leave the piles of different things folded on the bed for me to put away.
Wait. I'm sorry, I got to stop you again.
Yeah.
Your wife does your laundry?
Not all the time. Sometimes I do it.
Well, but at least I do all my laundry.
You're a great wife, Dave.
No, there's a reason.
Wait. Your own. So you separate your laundry?
I separate my laundry. I fold my laundry. I hang up my laundry. But there's a reason for it. Because like when I put a shirt away, I button it from top to bottom. Not just one button. And they all get faced. And this is a military thing. All my collars and my shirts get faced a certain way. So yes, I've become anal, so I don't let anybody touch my laundry, which is a benefit for somebody in this room.
It is. But couldn't she do the laundry, and then when she takes out of the dryer, just lay your shirts flat on the bed, allowing you to put them away however you wish?
Well, that happens to an extent, but it's laid across the top of the dryer. So I have to go, but the clothes intermingle, so it's like basically a trip to Everest. You know, you're climbing up one cornice to get to this piece of clothing, and then one cornice. No, I rather just say I do all my own laundry. Period. Do my own laundry. I may have gotten you in trouble.
It's not an option. We just have one basket. It all goes in one basket.
Well, you see, yeah, that's the difference. We have and you were speaking about when you get older, you realize that you don't need to wash, have dirty clothes every day. So like, I'm the same way. Like on my days off, if I have a pair of shorts that I've just lounged around the house, it's not dirty. It's not like I've went out and jumped in a mud puddle or anything like that. So I'll use it. And so I start judging about how much I want to do laundry. So it's like, okay, wait a minute. I don't want to do laundry that much. But I don't kick it under the bed. I have a little spot.
That's a storage spot for it.
Yeah. See, I have a storage spot on the bed, but it always gets screwed up because the dogs use the dogs use the top of the bed as a wrestling mat. So
then on top of that, so when she got the piles of certain clothes, the socks are easy. You grab them and you throw them into the drawer, and the underwear goes in the drawer. But shirts, it goes way up on a high shelf. So if I go in to go to bed and there's piles of clothes on the on the bed, oftentimes the pile of shirts will get taken off the bed and just put on, this thing that we've got at the foot of the bed. So there's pile of, clean clothes and all. So anyway, I notice when I'm on a cruise, I don't do that. When I take something off, it goes back and folded up back in the drawer, or it gets hung back up in the closet because the room's so small, right? You can't have stuff all over the place.
Well, and not only that, but you don't want to have a little note from your cabin steward saying, "Are you a slob?"
Really? So
but have you noticed there hasn't been a lot of commentary on this whole laundry thing from Tig Lily? Because I think she's realizing that, how good she has it. Yes.
So I've decided I'm going to try to act like I'm on a cruise, and when I take something off, if it can still be worn, it goes back where the clean clothes go. Or if I have, a pile of clean clothes, and it is stupid, right? Because it takes less than a minute, if they're already folded, to put them up where they belong, right? It's just that mental of like, oh, that's one more thing and I want to go to bed. So that's what I'm trying to do.
That's your resolution. So with that being the case, I need to ask from the powers that be, I need to ask her, what is the percentage that this will happen? 60-40, 80-20, 10-90. What do you think will happen?
Yeah. Well, I've already failed because the tough part is that my work, the pants I wear to work, they tend to come off with the belt in place, right? And then it just gets put over the foot of the bed, because then you just take them and put them back on the next day, versus taking the belt out, rolling up the belt, putting it in the drawer, folding up the pants. So that's become an exception at one piece.
Right.
But anyway, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
And I was impressed. She said 50-50. That's pretty good odds. I mean, that's
Better than
pretty
nothing.
good. Yeah,
Better than
exactly.
nothing.
But what you should do is
Oh.
say, okay, if I complete this resolution and I do it, then everybody goes, yay. But if you don't, then you have to do all of
Stop it.
Pantea's laundry.
I told you it's all one thing.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and even what's weirder is, you know, back in the younger days, I did the whole thing of separating out the lights and the darks and all this stuff. And then sometime along the way, I realized I've never had that issue where like the colors bleed over into my whites,
right,
or the whites don't come clean if they're not washed on hot. So everything gets washed together like on cool water.
Yep, that's what we do. Everything on cold. Everything on cold. Although every once in a while, though, I will take the whites, like, you know, gym socks, shorty socks, t-shirts that are white, and I'll do those separately, but very rare, because you're right. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's all not big pharma. What would it be? Big laundry.
Big laundry. That's right. Yeah. It's Tide wanting you to just use more.
Yeah.
And then they came out with these little
the pods.
The fabric strips. Have you seen those? They're about this big. So if you have for laundry, so if you have a smaller load and stuff like that, it's just like a little piece of paper. It's about that thin.
Is it soap?
Yeah, and you just throw that in and boom, it's done.
Yeah.
So that's working.
Well, you know, that is ridiculous. All the different because I have to give in when it comes to laundry soap, because my spouse likes the name brand stuff. But I am, you know, just like we found is you can wash your whites in cold and they still get clean. I'm sure you could buy the cheapest laundry detergent and the outcome of your laundry is going to look exactly the same.
This is it. And this is not a, we're not paid to say this. This is from Everspring. Yes. And these are laundry detergent sheets and lavender and bergamot, and not tested on animals. Now, why they picked a little bunny rabbit, 50% bio-based product, and you buy the based on how big the load is, you can tear off what you want. They actually work pretty good.
Any cheaper?
I don't know. I would need to ask Tig Lily on that. I don't know if they were cheaper or not. But a half a sheet equals one load, and a full sheet for heavily soiled or large machine loads. So, yeah, it works.
Yeah. You remember there used to be back in the day where we had the restrooms that had the big half round sinks where the water falled out with the foot pedal and the pink lava soap.
Mm-hmm.
So some bathrooms had the soap sheets for your hands too.
Oh, I never saw
those. You ever remember that? No?
No. The classiest bathroom I was ever in, there was an attendant.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so you got done, he'd hand you a towel, and then he'd give you some cologne, usually Clubman.
So you know, your wife pounding on the door saying "get out" is not an attendant. Great for travel. You guys don't have you can't do laundry in your RV, right?
Mm-mm.
Although I guess with those you could use a bucket.
Yeah, but we've thought about it. I mean, we've got a spot where we could probably put a washer and dryer in, but it's just
Yeah, you'd need some longer trips.
Now, when you're RVing, the whole laundry thing goes out the window because you wear the clothes and then you really don't have a hamper per se. So you just pick one of the drawers that's in the bedroom and that becomes the hamper.
Or that's like the hotel room where you pick a corner kind of out of sight that piles up all the dirty clothes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But can't you have them do your laundry on cruises?
Well, yes, and it depends. So when we were on a long cruise once, and so you can have it done, but the cruises we take, it's usually per piece.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll have them press my shirt or something for formal night, but I'm not going to have them pay them to wash my shorts and stuff.
Because it's probably pretty expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a load, yeah. They do have laundry mats on the ship that are not expensive, but then you're like, getting up early to get there before everybody else and making, all that stuff. So,
Well,
but
and if you're going on a 7-day cruise, most people have enough clothes where they don't have to wash clothes.
Yeah, the issue,
and like
we
I said,
were
it's
on a
not
longer
like you're.
one, and they did like you can wash up to 40 pieces for $20 or something, and
Right.
we took advantage of that. But
yeah, I guess the only I mean, I just don't believe in resolutions, because to me, if you set the bar low right after the new year, then everything else is up. But if you set the bar too high, you're setting yourself up for failure right out of the gate.
Yeah. Well, now I'm all washed out.
Yeah, you do look like
going
you're
on?
sitting
I
on
moved
the
and it
surface of the sun.
Yeah, here, can I get it recalibrate on this handsome mug?
That didn't work.
No, it didn't. No, and that's really funny, because back in the day too, when I went to the gym religiously, you would have that flood of new people in the beginning of January, and you knew come February you'd never see those people again. And that
But
really became what's the point?
I miss this, but what you're saying is very true, because your mom is saying so. One of these days we'll have to hear her story of what your disaster of your room looked like when you were younger.
I'll tell you. So, yeah, I had a problem with everything was on the floor in my room, and it was an ongoing battle that I guess I always won because it was never clean. And so finally, at some point, my mom said, because when you're a kid, your parents do the laundry for quite a long time. And she said, I just need at least a path from the door to your dresser so I can put your clothes away. And that's what she got, was a path. Even at one point, I took paper and taped it down as like a little sidewalk to the dresser. And that was you just walk right there. There you go.
Well, see, and that's, when you think what you just said, what we didn't realize is how good we had it when we were children. Yeah. If we could have been transported to our adult age and then transported back to being a kid, imagine how much better kids we would have been, because we would have said, wow, they cook our food, they do our laundry, they set out our clothes for the next day. I mean, we had it made.
Not your clothes. What did you have, a butler?
No, but the thing is, when I was going to school, you couldn't wear, there's, your parents, you were a image of what your parents, what your parents were. So you had to be dressed correctly. You had to look good and everything else. So what did my parents do? In Arizona, they dressed us in Toughskins. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of Toughskins. They were brought out by Sears and Roebuck, and they were for young kids who were very active and parents that didn't want to go out and buy clothes all the time. So what they were was a denim exterior, a denim interior, but inside the denim, there was a polypropylene rubber plastic. So if you tackled somebody or anything, the fabric would rip, but it wouldn't injure you. But what they failed to realize that in Arizona, that black propylene plastic became very explosively hot.
Wow.
So you had kids passing out on the playground.
Well, look at that. So we were concerned. What are we going to talk about? We spent half an hour on laundry.
Exactly. And like what Tigley said, if you had been really good, you could still be living at home. No, see, that's not our generation. The newer generations, they still live at home.
Yeah.
But
so you got all your Christmas stuff put away?
Oh yeah, we did. I did that New Year. For once, I did it New Year's Day, as soon as I got up. Because we don't do anything on New Year's Eve. I think we were in bed by 10.
You see that? It's cold here, Dave.
Wow. I thought you were just blowing out smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think 2025 is going to be a good year. I'm hoping.
I was going to ask what watch purchases you'll make this year, but I realized our audience, and so
I've been actually priming. There's really, I've just been kind of throwing out hints. Although, for I was the husky kid. I remember Toughskins came in husky. I was one of those. But no, I actually, as you know, Tig Lily is now what we call one of us
Yeah.
because
Well,
for
was it? Wait,
Christmas,
so let's talk about that because I'm very
okay.
curious. Go ahead. So say why. And I have a
Well,
question.
because I bought her, she doesn't wear a watch very
Yeah.
rarely. And I've bought her a couple of quartz watches here and there. And so this year I said, you know what? I'm going to buy her a nice watch. She deserves it. She puts up with my crap 365 days a year. So I bought her an Oris, a nice switch made automatic dive watch, but nice with, because she had told me she likes peacock colors. So the dial is a kind of a peacock and stuff like that. So the frustrating part is that it's an automatic watch, and for us that have automatic watches, if we don't have a watch winder, we know exactly, okay, you can't set it, you can't do anything between midnight and 3 a.m. because you'll screw up the escapement. And so that's been a learning process for her. But that also primed me to say, honey, there is one watch. Well, there's actually 5, but there's one watch that I'm really interested in the first quarter of 2025, and you know which one it is. That's that Christopher Ward Belcanto, the
Oh, well,
purple
see,
one.
that was not going to be my guess because you waffled on that one.
Yeah, I did, and then I started looking at it more and looking at some of the other ones. I think that's probably the one, but it'll be a while because we're looking for some other things for the RV and another vehicle to tow. So
Oh, like a little, like a
we're looking
Suzuki
at like
Samurai.
a Jeep or a Samurai, something that we can tow, because we're going to be taking an extended trip in June to Yellowstone and the Tetons. And I'm not the type that like to drive the motorhome through those parks. I like to set up at camp and then throw everything into a car and go. So we're still looking at that.
Yeah. I still
so
say
that
mopeds are your best bet. I could see
I
you two
don't,
on
but
a
see,
moped.
but think about it. If we got mopeds or Vespas, yes, that would be easy. We could put them on a hitch; they'd be great. But imagine me driving through Yellowstone on a moped or a Vespa, and a bison comes out. That bison's going to eat my face off, just knock me right off the bike.
And could probably outrun that too. I thought it would be cute if you got one of those dog backpacks too. So you have your dog on your back.
You do know how much my dog weighs, right?
Oh, yeah. That'd be awfully cute, wouldn't it? Little doggy glasses, goggles. Well, so I was curious. Now, had she shown interest in getting a watch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she had. Okay. So I was wondering if this was just you pulling her into your hobby with no.
Oh no, that's exactly
on
what
her
it is.
own part.
No, that's exactly what it is. No, that 100%. She told me, because I kept prompting her from like October on, saying, "Honey, it'd be nice if you'd wear a watch." I don't want a watch. I don't need a watch.
And you did it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. And she likes it. She likes it. Okay. She likes it a lot.
All right.
I think she wears it more often for me than for her.
That's all right.
I'm trying to get her into that, because I look at her and say, God, you've got a gorgeous wrist, and look at that beautiful Swiss watch on your wrist. You're class. And she looks at me and she goes, "What watch are you trying to buy?
What are you trying to get now?"
But see, at least I do all my own laundry. She doesn't have to do any of that.
Wait, is that the key? If I do all my own laundry, then I can.
I don't know. Ask Pantea. She's right here. You can ask her on
no,
you can ask her live.
Well, there's certain things that are better not live, off camera, as they would say.
Well, just think about it. Those bottles of rum could have gone towards a down payment on a watch.
That's true. No, and she did, to her credit, it always would do what you want, which of course then makes you think and be like, well.
Oh boy, PB comes out swinging for the fences. A Richard Mille RM7201 Carbon Frost. Boom.
I think he's just PB. You don't own that, right? You just.
If he does, you can live on that watch, or you'd have to, because it's as much as a mortgage payment. Or I mean, as much as a mortgage, a full mortgage. Oh. I've never liked the Richard Mille. There's something. I just don't like the way they're shaped.
No, and that's a watch that people know what it is, and so you see them. A lot of race car drivers wear Richard Mille, and I wonder if they're sponsored or something. In fact, he does sponsor.
Yeah.
not a car, but the races themselves, right? So I wonder if they get a
Right.
deal.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
But also
Well,
like rappers and
look at what's his name, Hamilton from the Formula One. He he had every Tag Heuer watch known to humanity given to him because Tag Heuer was into that. And you've got sports figures that get Rolexes and stuff like that. So not like us hillbillies down in the patch that have to buy our watches. Speaking of patch, have you seen Landman yet?
no.
Oh, you got to
So
watch it.
so there's another story.
Okay,
We don't get Paramount Plus.
you need to.
I know I need to. And there was one time I think Ponte was down in off somewhere, I think for work or something. So there's that. There's there's some Star Trek one that's on there.
Strange New Worlds.
There's a few things that I really
Mhm.
want to see on Paramount Plus, and we that's one of the few things we don't get. And I
$8 a month.
I think
$8.
I thought it was even less than that. But even if
could
it
be.
is, right,
Eat
it's
it
less than a lunch, right?
Yes.
per month.
Less
And
than
I-
a Cobb salad.
That's that's true. But see, that's the whole dichotomy, right? About we'll spend whatever on this, but then I got to the whole sign up page. I'm like, okay, whatever it costs per month, I'm gonna watch all this stuff anyway. But then I was like, no, I don't have to. And so
But
I signed up.
you have Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Of course. So it's the same thing. But the thing is, Taylor Sheridan, he did Yellowstone, he did Lioness, he did Landman, and every single one of his shows are fantastic. And Landman, Billy Bob Thornton does just an incredible job.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
No, that one looks really good. The one we also haven't started, which we can watch, is what is it? 18, whatever the prequel for Yellowstone.
Oh, 1883. There's two. I think there's 1883 and 1923. I've watched 1923. 1923 has got Harrison Ford in it.
Yeah, so that's the one that we keep saying we need to start,
Mm-hmm.
and I assume that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch that one as much. We just binged 2 seasons of The Lioness, which is Zoe Saldana, and she plays a field manager for the CIA. She's on a kill team. Oh, it is amazing.
Is that on Paramount Plus too?
Yeah, it's got Morgan Freeman. It's got Zoe Saldana. It's just an amazing. It's all about the CIA and what they do, and really cool.
Yeah. See, that's on our list, is looking into cutting the cord or whatever, not doing
Regular
cable. But every time we start thinking about it, it's like trying to figure out how you can still get what you want to watch becomes such a mind puzzle. You're like, oh, we'll figure it out later.
Well, and they're getting smart on the streaming side, because there's another CIA based show called The Agency that's got Richard Gere, the guy that played David in Alien, the guy from a couple other guys that are really good. But it's Paramount and Showtime have a bundle now.
Yeah.
So you can bundle Paramount and Showtime, but if you don't have Showtime, which we don't want, you can watch 2 episodes of this new series. Then you have to go watch the rest of it over at Showtime. So they tease you.
Come on.
Yeah, they give you a little taste and then say, "Come on over."
That's messed up.
Yeah, it's yeah. But no, I would. Paramount Plus is out of all that we've got: Disney Plus, Apple TV, Paramount. I got rid of Netflix because they kept raising their prices, and I'm really impressed with some of the things you can find on Disney, though. We watched, I wanted to see the movie Alien Romulus, and I couldn't find it anywhere else, and Disney has it, and it was excellent.
Oh man, that was a hard movie even to get through the first one, man. It's so stupid. But do you pay for cable at all, or no? You just stream everything? Oh, you do?
No, yeah. And I don't know why, because we very rarely watch anything that's cable related, except for TBS, which has constantly The Big Bang Theory. And we just had a big conversation about The Big Bang Theory. And unbelievably, and I know he's probably not here, but if he is, Steven, Steven, there is nobody in this country that has not seen The Big Bang Theory. You got to
Yeah,
get
that's
him up to
weird.
speed.
But see, I guess it's a certain type of humor,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we love that. I love The Office, but my wife can't stand that type of humor.
Oh,
So
okay.
she won't watch The Office. So it could be just that humor is just not his.
Yeah.
But
we watch, I mean, literally probably 5 out of 7 nights a week. And I say 5 out of 7, we're watching repeats of The Big Bang Theory. And we always find one that we didn't see.
yeah,
You know,
or one
so-
that's very rarely repeated and you forgot about it. Or something.
I just thought, I'm like you. I look at the show and I look at how it's written. And I did not realize, but Taylor Sheridan actually had a small writing thing in The West Wing and some of these other ones that were ER. And that's the way his shows are written. They're just written wonderfully. There was one that he did that got canceled called Open Range with Josh Brolin. And it was fantastic, but it got canceled after the first season. And that's the part that bothers me the most is you get invested in these shows and then they go, we don't want to have them anymore.
Yeah.
So.
But that's all right. I almost would rather that than the ones that they run into the ground or they change the plot up and bring in new people because they run out of ideas and then it just ruins the whole thing. And you're like, what did you?
Right.
What do you do? Oh, here you go. Here's a watch question. Way to go, PB. You're my
You
hero.
like white? 2025 is the year of white dials. See, I've got a bunch of white dials.
Me too. So my next, well, not.
Well, you've been wanting. If you're going to say what I think you're going to say, it's the watch that you've been wanting to get for years now.
For years. And
let me see. Let me see if I can be. Let me see if I can be Karnak here. It is the Omega 300M with the white dial.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful watch.
It is a gorgeous watch.
And that's very likely whenever I get around to making another major watch purchase, it'll be that one.
Very well played. I like the way you said that. That was good. That was smooth.
Whenever
it was complete. It was complete bullshit, but it was.
It is because. So tell them about the Belcanto.
Oh, the Belcanto.
That's a very unique watch.
Omega was not Omega. I think Breguet was the one who first had a minute repeater chiming watch, and it was just stupidly expensive. Then Omega.
Wait. So a minute repeater.
I mean, it's. I'm sorry. It's not a minute repeater. It's an hour chiming watch.
The Belcanto is
right.
Yeah.
And so Omega came out with one where on the hour there's a mechanical striker that comes back and strikes this chime, so you know what the hour is. Now, do you need something like that? No. Is it cool? Absolutely. So Christopher Ward came out with the Belcanto and the Omega watch was somewhere in the neighborhood of $38,000 to $39,000. Belcanto comes out, or Christopher Ward comes out with it, and it's like $3,000. And it is, and you've seen the watch. It is stunning. It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
And they have one that's in a very unique purple, almost an amethyst.
You're still
color.
on the purple, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So let me explain, because this is, I think, so it physically chimes every hour, right?
Mhm.
Which to miniaturize that to fit into a watch is the tough part. But then the way that they do it is just the engineering is why I would want the watch. And so it has a piece of metal that's attached on one end, and then it's this very long U-shaped metal that goes all the way around the face and does a U-turn and loops back. So you've got this long piece of metal with only one anchor point, and then a little striker, and that's what you hear. So the fact that they could engineer that into a watch that's somewhat affordable in terms of high-end watches is really cool.
Well, I think what happened is I think most of us that are into watches are not, because most people, like, my wife, for instance, okay, it's a watch, it's round, it tells time. But for those of us that are into automatic watches, it's the engineering. When you look at the back of an open case back and you see all these little gears and cogs and things doing that, I just think it's fascinating. And I don't know, PB. I have never heard that chime in a Chinese restaurant, but I'll go there if there is one. And actually, Christopher Ward's selling the purple. It's less than that. Last time I checked, anyway.
You're ruining a PB. He told his wife it's $600.
No, I did. She knows it's at least 37 or 35, I think.
The tough part for you this year is so until very recently, you had to put down a hefty deposit and wait about 9 months to get your watch. They've increased production, so they're in stock.
Right.
So before it was easier to say, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to. Now, if you just get weak for a minute, you buy that thing and they'll have it shipped out within an hour.
Well, it's funny you mention that because right before Christmas, I went onto Christopher Ward's site after somebody I know, and I won't mention any names, but he's a nurse in San Francisco, said, hey, you know that Belcanto is in stock. So I went there and I looked and I hemmed and I hawed and I said, no, I can't. So I went out. The next morning I came in and looked at it again. It was out of stock. And I was like,
oh,
yes.
lucky. I know.
Right? The problem is a week and a half later, I go back in.
Oh, yeah.
It's in stock again.
You can't check. That's the key.
Well, that's like there's one watch made by Man. It's MAEN. It's called the Manhattan 39 millimeter Ultra Slim, and it's like 3.8 millimeters thick. It's tiny, but they want you to pay full price, and it's not going to be shipped until like March. And I won't do that. I just won't.
Okay, good. So I'll let you know when that's in stock. So one thing so you made a point about that we like the craftsmanship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a whole watch episode where, one of the points is it's just bizarre because almost all of the amazing engineering you're paying for, you don't see. Even if you can see in the case back, you don't see most of it, right? So it's like, what difference does it make? But you just know, right? That's the cool part.
Well, that's like, a lot of people say, why do I need a watch when I can see the time right there?
Right.
Because I'm sorry. Because
that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's frustrating to me is, so I have one quartz watch that I wear on a somewhat regular basis on usually weekends, right? Throw it on, don't have to set the time, can beat it up a little bit more, all that stuff.
That's let me guess, that is your Tag Heuer Formula One.
You love it.
Yes, I do.
But I would like, one or two more quartz watches. So it's not just that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Omega has some ones that look just like their automatics, but they're quartz. But the price still is a couple of $1,000s, which that's what drives me nuts. Is like all of that engineering that we pay for isn't there. It's just a quartz movement.
Yeah, and quartz movements you can buy for next to nothing. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So I can't do it. I can't pay over $1,000 for quartz. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, well, but then again, you got on me, and I don't have it here handy, but you got on me for buying a watch because it was retro. And it's a watch now in today's world that you could go down to Target and get for $12. Not the same type though, and that was because in 1970, I think it was 76. I may not be off there. Pulsar, which was Hamilton came out with a watch called the Pulsar. And the Pulsar, you pressed a button and all of a sudden there was this LED digital time that showed up. And so they came out with it and it was a retro and my dad had one. So I bought it and you've been giving me crap about it ever since. Because it looks like a 1970s television.
Right. It means something to you and you like that. And, I just, the retro style, I it's just not mine.
But then again, I know the next watch that you will probably get if you can convince yourself into it. And that's the Bulova.
No.
The Accutron.
Yeah. No, I think I finally realized that didn't make sense.
Well, come on. You don't want to go walk it around like this around?
No. It is so cool, though.
It is.
It's so cool. So here, I'll forget this by the time the show's over, but try to remember to check out the outfit. That sounds good.
What channels is it? What channels is it on?
Channels? No more channels.
Well.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe that.
So wait a minute. Hold on. I got it. But the skeletonized watches are cool. Well, how come she didn't tell me that during Christmas? Because I could have found a skeletonized watch for her.
But she didn't.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't that?
That's the other weird thing.
Wouldn't that be awesome? if all of a sudden she starts getting into, shh, don't tell anybody. But if she starts getting into watches, I'm golden.
Well, man, you hit, that would be the ultimate. She goes, Dave, you need this watch.
Oh God. That would, yeah, that would literally be like hearing angels singing.
You go, the outfit on Netflix.
I did give her one year ago. I did. I don't buy that. You'll have to prove that to me.
I was into those several years ago, because I agree. I think that's really cool. You see all the entire insides, and you can get a skeletonized automatic watch for not very much money.
Mm-hmm.
Again, which is weird because they've got all the workings of everything else. And oh, you went dark. What happened?
My light just died.
Oh, no. Well. You want me to turn mine up?
No, that's all right.
Anyway, all right. Well, you said we didn't have anything to talk about. We filled a show.
This is something new. Getting into shaving. The best secret in shaving soap on it is True Fit and Hill Apsley.
Yeah.
The one thing I've had problems with True Fit and Hill, though, is being that it's a hard triple milled soap, is sometimes lathering can be an issue.
They have soft. They have.
Oh, I know they have the creams, right?
Yeah, I have. That's what I've. West Indian limes from True Fit and Hill. That's a good smelling soap.
Well, this may surprise you, but my next soap purchase is probably going to be from a soap that I've never ever tried, and this one's going to blow you away. Martin de Candre.
I'm surprised.
Never tried that soap, so I'm going to give it a shot, because not only is there fougere, I'm trying, you know me, I'm trying to find the next ultimate Penhaligon's English fern. And so I'm going to try the fougere to see if it's close. But then there's another, Bull Goose Shaving has a company that has a fougere EDT that is supposed to be grassy and ferny. And that's the epitome of English fern. So
no, yeah, I know that you're almost completely out of the English fern spray. Are you also out of the soap?
No, I've still got the soap. Okay. But the spray, and I have been looking for another another one, and I can't find it anywhere.
Wow. So ironically, as I was saying that we did fill a show, I was going to ask you, because you said, "Hey, get ready to talk about what you've eaten for the last week or so."
We've got 3 minutes.
I was gonna ask you, what was your favorite food that you had over the holidays?
Probably the Puerto Rican food that we made for Christmas.
Yeah,
we made.
I want to try that sometime. It looks to me something I wouldn't be into, but then hearing you describe it and stuff like that, I want to give that a shot.
It's really good. I'll have to send you a recipe. Yeah, we had and Sean's still here. We had arroz con gandules, which I added chicken to. We had tostones, which are the plantains. And we had rice, some beans. It was just delicious.
Oh.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. See, now I was able to stay away from florists until we find that Isla perfume, which we use all the time now. And now I'm curious about getting.
Well, number 89 is one of their best. Elite is another one. I've looked at their catalog. But, and I've been avoiding Penhaligon's because I personally think Penhaligon's has some of the nicest presentation of any. Well, you got one for Christmas, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. What, wonderful. Lord George.
Right.
That's a good smelling one.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I'm upset at Penhaligon's because they got rid of English fern. Because I think that, and I write them one letter a month. I write them and say, "Hey, can you bring this back?" And of course, they come back and say, "Come on, old man, we're an upscale company now."
What? We need to.
What? Oh, that's dangerous.
If that's true, then you don't have to ration the use of that anymore, and, which is super cool if you can. So that everybody knows, there's a Drinks and Dave's shave soap and aftershave balm type of thing through CBL Soaps. We worked with him and made what leathery, tobacco-y kind of scent for
Mhm.
us that we both have. And then when I was in London and went to Florist, happened upon they have uh, Isla that was made with Scotch and supposed to
Mhm.
smell like peated
Oh, it's
Scotch,
so
and it
good.
smells amazing. But it was exclusive to that store, and they said you can only get it there. So if you can get it on the site, I'm a little bummed it's not exclusive, but the
But
fact that we don't have to worry about using it up and can get it,
yeah, it's bad when you pick up the bottle and you do a spritz and you go, "Oh God, there's only so many months left."
PB's coming with the facts this
He really
episode.
is. So
Yeah.
that fact that he's drinking Guinness has made his brain really just start moving.
It's the
But see, that's one thing he did say this earlier. He goes, when we asked him what he was drinking, he said, "Oh, something, just Guinness." Don't ever say that. Guinness
but it's,
is like,
yeah, they'd be like, you can say it's just Bud Light. You could say
right.
that.
But the thing is, you don't. Have you ever had a Guinness?
No, I don't like beer at all, but it's a
It,
cool looking can.
it's really not beer. It's an elixir of life.
Mm.
If you like coffee, which I know you do,
Yeah,
and it doesn't drink like a beer. In fact, a lot of people.
The problem is I don't like the taste of hops. That's it.
Oh,
So,
I think you might like Guinness. I think you might like it.
You know what? I think I'll go look tonight. I believe that my dad bought some Guinness to cook something, not this time that he was here, but one other time they were down. I think there was a leftover can.
So try
If
it.
there is, I'll try it.
Try it and see what you think.
But I don't need that though.
What, that it's maple? I don't get the maple syrup. I don't get that from it.
I don't need to be also enjoying beer of any. I mean, there was wine, and then there was scotch, and then we.
Well, wait a minute. Stop. You said there was wine, there was scotch. You need to say there is wine, there is a scotch.
Yeah.
But although that wine that you posted the other day, was it yesterday?
Yeah,
that looked really good. 2016. That had to be delicious.
Yeah, not bad. That's the sweet spot. I think about 8 years. That's where I like them.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, go for. So I'm right. I think it. Yeah, it must have been Guinness that he bought. For ribs. That's what he soaks the ribs in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I can see that. That'd be really delicious.
Yeah.
So what about you? What did you eat what was your favorite meal of the last week?
Well, I don't know. That's tough. So we did I'm happy we did the big turkey thing for the big Christmas dinner, which I was jonesing for.
Right.
And so I'm happy that we did that, and it was nice to have the turkey and all the fixings.
And everybody was there, right? The whole family?
Yeah. Except cool. the oldest had to work. And so that's what's weird now is that we've always had all the family together, but now the kids are starting to work, and the jobs you can get at that age tend to be retail driven. And so they're working like Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas, and you kind of feel bad and you want to like try to arrange it so everybody, but then you remember that we were there too at that time, right? And you can't always be everywhere, and it's good for them to kind of learn that, that's what working is about is.
Oh, exactly.
You can't always do everything you want. But
and what it does is it makes you really appreciate when you do have that time off and you do have the entire family together, and have that big meal and stuff like that. I mean, but like I said, New Year's Eve, I remember when we were younger, New Year's Eve was a big deal, but nowadays.
Yeah.
Good night.
It's just a mark on the, but my favorite moment of eating was, I love caviar.
Yes, I saw
that. And I told my wife, and she went out and got, and thank God, because that's the same thing as the watches and everything else. Is I jones for it, and then I see the price, I'm like, oh, forget it. So she went out and got it. So good, because then we had it. I would not have ended up buying it.
Well, but the
sparkling wine.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Alestra is so good. The problem is here, it's next. I mean, you go into like one of our higher end grocery stores, for lack of a better term. You say, "Do you have caviar?" Oh yeah, it's over on aisle 4, and you look at it, and it's like, that ain't caviar.
on the shelf.
Yeah, I don't see a
Yeah.
I don't see a Lestra anywhere. But I've never had the paddlefish though. Is that better or is it?
No, it was a fifth the price, and she wanted to get 2, and it tasted like fish. And to
Yeah.
me, caviar shouldn't taste like fish.
No, it should have a
That's not
nutty.
what I enjoy
Yeah,
now.
right. Exactly.
What is it? Is he still going on about Guinness here?
I don't know. Because we went from Flores to
Oh no. Oh, here,
Guinness.
I think you switched over to absinthe.
Oh, okay. But I think no, MDC. It's Martin de Condre absinthe.
Oh, what the PB? He's just,
MDC
I think he's shopping.
I think he is. I think he's on a shopping site while
Yeah.
we're talking about this. But surprisingly, for not having anything to talk about, we covered a gambit
Yeah.
of different things, I think.
We showed our depth. Half an hour on laundry, Dave. Half an hour. We are cultured men.
We are cultured. And we found out that some people do their own laundry and some people depend on their wives to do their own laundry, which might change after this show.
Well, if I get a watch out of it.
Oh, negotiating already. That's good. That's good. Well, is there anything we haven't covered? I mean, I think we did, we've done done what we've been asked to do by a higher power.
What? Let's throw. We're only down to 5 viewers now. I want to throw out though that we did the vodka tasting,
Yes.
and I think we're good with that without getting high-end vodkas that we can't get in the little tasters and stuff. We did an amazing rum tasting.
And I want to thank Eric again. I think he
Yeah.
did just tremendous.
He knocked that out of the park. But if there's anybody, and we don't expect, he went to the nth with the history
Oh, he
and the
did.
tasting, all that stuff. But if there's, so the issue again, I'll say is that if you and I do a tasting of something, we're not going to go out and buy a whole bunch of $50 full bottles of stuff that we don't know.
No, we're going to
go buy the little bottles of,
we're going to get
junk.
Right. We're going to get stared at Total Wine while people say, oh, look at that poor drunk. He's buying all those little bottles.
Right.
But
So
I think we need to do gin.
Tequila. Okay. Gin or tequila. If anybody knows somebody or is deeply into those, if you would be willing to hand deliver some samples that you think are representative and would be a good tasting for us, that would be
have all the knowledge
episode.
that goes along with it.
Yeah.
That would work.
Anyway.
Happy
New Year, buddy.
Yes. Happy New Year to you, Dave. And Happy New Year to all the Barflies. We appreciate you guys being here. And as I said, make sure, and Dave will run that across the screen real quick. If you have anything you'd like to have us talk about, please email us. And we will be back next Monday, and we'll have some type of subject. Or this has been so good, we may just do it just
we'll
like
go back
that.
to laundry. We could
talk. Yeah, because we didn't even talk about folding. We didn't talk about types of laundry detergent. Well, we touched on it, because big pharma.
So much
stuff,
more.
So. Exactly. So, anyhow, say goodnight, Dave.
Night, Dave.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time around.